Hey everybody, I am Vincent, and whenever I ride VillainCon Minion Blast, I am able to get over 1,000,000 points. And in this video, I want to share with you guys my tips, my strategies, the perks that I use to help you get the highest possible score on VillainCon Minion Blast so that you can be on the top 30 leaderboard. So get your villain spandex on and let's see if you have what it takes to join the Vicious Six. And welcome to another episode of Vincent Vision. Watcha! So, the number one most important thing you need to get a good score on VillainCon is the Universal Orlando app. This is the first attraction here at Universal to have app connectivity. You are actually able to create a profile before even visiting the park that'll allow you to have your own personal account for the VillainCon ride. That's going to allow you to do a couple things. It's going to allow you to track your score. It's going to allow you to collect collectibles all around the Minion land, and most importantly, it is going to allow you to trick out your blaster for the ride. It's going to give you perks. Now, this is the most important thing you need to have an advantage on this experience are the perks. And when you first get the app and before you ride, you're not really going to have a lot to work with. You will have to ride multiple times to be able to get more of the bigger modifiers. You can choose your Elemental Blast, you can choose your Ultimate Blast, your Standard Launcher, and then the perks that go on your blaster. So when you go to VillainCon and you sync in at the ride, you will have all of this preloaded onto your blaster already. You're starting the ride with an advantage. These are all the different types of perks I like to have on my blaster, and I'll kind of explain why a little bit later when I go through my strategy going through each of the rooms. But these, I think, are the easiest way to get at least over 1,000,000 points every time you ride VillainCon Minion Blast, if you're doing it right, of course. For my Elemental Blast, I have Fire set up. Stronghold is weak to fire, and he's the first supervillain you see on the ride. I think that gives me an advantage really early on, so I start with Fire. Now, when you cause enough damage and you hit the supervillains enough, your ultimate meter will charge. And when your ultimate meter is charged, you automatically switch to like your ultimate launcher. By default, it's like a multi-elemental blast. You can unlock different ones if you do missions on the app. I've gotten a couple, but the one that I've found that I get the most points with is Balthazar Bratz, I think that's how you say his name, is Boombox. You can get that by doing the collectible mission on the app, and you can pick which mission you want to focus on and kind of accept it from there. Now, let's talk about strategy with this ride, because believe it or not, there's actually a lot more to it than the ride lets on. So basically, on this ride, I am trying to do a mix of different things. I am trying to collect as many coins on the ground. The coins come from destroying objects. I am trying to get collectibles as well. They'll pop up every so often. And then the biggest thing that I found where I get the most amount of my points is using the special launcher and the villains, Vicious Six launchers, at the villains in each room. So whenever Stronghold spins out in that first room, his little golden cube pops up, and you can shoot at it, and you get his little power up. You'll hear it on your blaster. It goes, Stronghold! And then you're just gonna shoot it over and over and over at him until you leave that room. Try to grab a couple of the ultimate launcher reloads as well. Those are the cubes with the sort of yellow symbol. The minions will drop them every so often, or they'll kind of walk into the room with them. Recharge your blaster and blast, 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 blast until you get moved on to the next room. Because once you pass a certain point, you don't get to shoot in that room anymore. You have to go focus onto the next room. Two of my other perks that I have set up on my blaster are the Launcher Supercharge and the Launcher Extra Ammo. What that allows me to do is, one, get bigger special launcher ammo, so when I'm shooting at the bad guys, I'm getting more damage and more points, and two, I have more of them to shoot, so I can just basically spam it as much as I can. So I'll shoot it, find one of those reloads, and then shoot it again. Rinse and repeat, and do that for like every room, basically. One of the best rooms, apart from right at the beginning of the ride, Bell Bottom's room. She is really, really easy to hit, and she's just kind of floating around. Her power-up, I think, is really, really strong as well, so I just try to get hers as often as I can, and it's kind of hard to see because it's kind of like hidden beneath the chaos. Usually everybody's shooting at her, and it's a whole bunch of different colors and effects flying all around, but if you get hers, you'll hear a little confirmation, a little, yeah, it's like that, and then you just keep shooting it right back at her all the way until you go into the next room with the villains from the Despicable Me movies. A really cool thing about this experience too is you don't have to just focus on the big screens. There are interactive elements in each of the rooms and some smaller screens as well that I would actually recommend looking for, shooting for. That's where you're going to find a lot of your collectibles. And I think a lot of people haven't really picked up on those yet. That those are a really, really great way to get an extra boost of points. I think they're each worth about 25,000. And I've been able to hit them multiple times, so I've found that a really, really easy way to rack up a lot of points, apart from just shooting the blasters at the supervillains. One spot that I think a lot of people don't think to shoot at is in Svengeance's room. There's 2 screens and there's a monitor at the top. You can actually hit those screens. They'll burst open and there are collectibles there. And people don't really shoot for those, so I shoot at those a lot when I go into that room. That's one of the first things I do, actually, and you can get it from pretty far away. Like right as you enter that room, you can hit those and get some extra points. What's cool is the physical elements. You might see some physical cubes in each of the rooms. You can actually hit those with your blaster and it'll give you the element you need. So if you have the fire perk like I do and you don't have a fire element on your blaster at the time, if you're in the room where they have a physical box there, like in Jean-Claude's underwater room, you can hit that and now you got a fire blaster and you're back to getting as many points as you can. It is a lot of information, believe it or not. You're not going to get it 100% right the first time. It took me a few ride-throughs to figure out how to get the score that I get now. And this isn't the strategy to get the #1 spot on the leaderboard all the time. There are people who are getting like 2 million points. I have never gotten 2 million points in this ride. I have maxed out at about like 1.5 million. But if you follow this advice, you follow my tips, you will definitely make it on the top 30 leaderboard when you ride VillainCon Minion Blast. And isn't that really what it's about? Don't you just want to see your name on a screen? Don't you want to just see your name on an app and be able to scroll and say, hey look, I'm number 5 today. But apart from that, that is all I've got. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this. Please, if you have any ideas, any personal tips and suggestions on how you get a really, really good score on this ride, please leave a comment down below. I'm sure we'd love to see it. I would love to see it. Take these tips to heart. Grab your Eliminator X and get blasting out there, villains, and maybe, just maybe, you'll be good enough to join the Vicious 6. Spoilers, no one gets to join the Vicious 6, okay? This is not like the Men in Black ride. There's no, like, good ending. You don't win. Just put your name on the board, all right, folks? And a special shout out to the wonderful VillainCon team members who helped me out with this video and were extremely patient with me as I went through their ride 3 times with no blaster and just like stood there with my camera filming the screens. So thank you guys once again for watching another Vincent Vision, and I will see you at the next VillainCon. Bye-bye.